The Council of Ministers held its weekly session at Sif Palace today noon under the chairmanship of His Highness Sheikh Al-Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Prime Minister. Following the meeting, the Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs, Sheikh Mohammed Al-Mubarak Al-Sabah, said at the outset of its meeting, the Cabinet took note of the message addressed to His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, from the Prime Minister of Tunisia, Mahdi Jama, where he lauded the outcome of his recent official visit to Kuwait. The Cabinet then took note of the message addressed to His Highness the Emir from Her Royal Highness, the Special Representative of the Princess Astrid, sister of Her Majesty the Queen of Belgium. The Cabinet took note of the message addressed to His Highness the Emir from Her Royal Highness, the Special Representative of the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, Princess Astrid, sister of Her Majesty the Queen of Belgium. The message dealt with the efforts exerted in fighting and eliminating malaria and hailed the role played by Kuwait in this humane field. Meanwhile, the Council of Ministers was briefed by His Highness the Prime Minister on the outcome of the recent visit of His Majesty King Juan Carlos of Spain and his accompanying delegation to the state of Kuwait, which came to further fortify bilateral relations and mutual cooperation in various domains. The Cabinet then approved a resolution on forming a Supreme Council for Governorates affairs under the chairmanship of His Highness the Prime Minister and with the membership of the Deputy Premier and Minister of Interior, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Education and Minister of Higher Education, the Minister of Public Works, the Minister of Social Affairs and Labour, the Minister of Communications and Minister of State for Municipal Affairs, the Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs, the Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs and Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Governorates Affairs. In a separate issue, the Council of Ministers discussed the recommendations of the Ministerial Committee for Youth Affairs, which reviewed the final report of the Sport Development Committee on the state's report situation for the year 2013-2014. Furthermore, the Cabinet tackled the committee's recommendations on activating the role of youth in establishing small and medium-sized projects. In this regard, the Cabinet assigned the Ministry of State for Youth Affairs to provide the necessary mechanisms for executing the recommendations in collaboration with the National Fund for Developing the Small and Medium-Sized Projects, the General Secretariat for Planning and Development, and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. On the other hand, the Cabinet agreed on appointing Yusuf Khalid Ajil Al-Ajil as Assistant Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Electricity and Water and Dr. Tahani Saud Nahar Al-Adwani as Assistant Secretary General at the National Council of Culture, Arts and Literature with the degree of Assistant Under-Secretary. Moreover, the Council of Ministers accepted the KD 1 million donation made by sons of Muhammad Abd al-Rahman al-Bahar to establish an early examination center for breast cancer in Al-Sabah area under the name of Rugaya Abdullah Al-Ahmadi Center for Breast Examination. Finally, the Council of Ministers discussed the issues listed on the National Assembly's agenda and reviewed the latest political developments on the Arab and international arenas.